Hey Adam, how you
Hi.
doing?
I'm okay. Yeah. How do I call you, sir?
Hey, call me Master Gunnery Sergeant.
Oh, that's that's a mouthful, but Master Gunnery Sergeant, it's nice to meet you.
We can go with sir. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Hey, so one, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to kind of come in and kind of looking into your future, which I think is very important. Love to just take a couple, maybe 30 minutes or so to really just talk about your future, really see where you want to get in life, kind of make sure that any of those roadblocks or some of those concerns you have, you kind of bring them up to the table so we can kind of have a deep discussion to make sure that any decision you make for your future is really focused on making sure that it matches your plans and gets you started on the right foot. Sounds good?
Um, yeah, yes, yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. I know you had some history with some family in the military. You're kind of
Mhm.
looking a little bit at college. You have a little bit of concerns. What's currently on your mind?
I don't know. I mean, my uncle's cool. My uncle Steve, he was in the military for a while, and he said he really liked it. I was just considering maybe going to school, but I don't really know what I major in, and so I don't know. Like, I have a lot of interest in stuff, but like, I don't know. You see like the military in movies and stuff, and I don't want to get yelled at.
Yeah, movies definitely portray a specific picture, and reality can be a little bit different than what the movies actually is. And it's good that you came in to kind of see what some of those differences are. You did speak a little bit about some of your interests and really not figuring out exactly what you want, but what are your current interests right now, and what do you think's holding you back from kind of locking on like a specific vision for yourself?
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I like playing video games a lot, but my mom says that isn't a career choice, and so I've got to find other stuff. I'm into cars and I like motorcycles and stuff. I did a little bit of shooting with my uncle. We did like some skeet shooting years ago, and that was really fun. I mean, I don't know. You know, I, I like stuff. I just don't know. Like you were talking about, like my future and stuff, and like I don't know what to do with that. I just I don't know. I don't know how to make any of this actionable, I guess.
Yeah, and I could put myself in the same seat you're sitting in right now and just remember when I was in your shoes trying to figure out what I want to do. And same thing with college. Like, it's like, it's a good idea, but not necessarily what I wanted to focus on. So I could definitely see where you're coming from. And a lot of those hobbies and interests, really kind of paints a picture of me that you like to kind of like work with your hands. You like to kind of be in a little bit in the action, vice maybe kind of like always stuck behind a scene, maybe sitting behind a desk or something like that. I mean, when you think about your future, is it something that you want to be active or do you want to be kind of in a standstill, kind of left
Yeah.
at that state?
No, yeah, that's great. Like the thought of like not having to just like sit on my butt all day and like getting to get out there and like do stuff and feel like I don't know, I want there to be like a little bit more meaning in what I'm doing. And so I don't know, I'd like to feel directly involved, I guess.
Yeah. And would you say that you're trying to find that one true passion that's going to open up that desire to what you're really going to connect with later on in your life?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I mean, I hear exactly where you're coming from, and I can't even say, it's the military for me kind of opened up a vision. I ended up staying in because I just enjoyed it, just like you said, trying to find that passion, that sense of belonging, and that reason to kind of keep going. I ended up staying in, but same thing, just trying to make things kind of click in my life and just something that was a little bit meaningful. And how you're talking about is like, working with your hands, trying to figure it out. That stuff happens. And the fact that you're in here, like I said, the hardest thing for anybody to do is ever walk through these doors to find out more. And even though you have that history and the family and stuff, but really everybody's different. You'll never be me, I'll never be you. But the goal is to really unlock your full potential. And looking at the Marine Corps could definitely do that. When you really think about where you currently are in your life and you have all these hobbies and interests, those don't go away. When you become a Marine, it's really finding those same individuals that have that same hobbies and experience and those desires like you and start building those connections and bonds. And one thing that's great about us is how we grow together. It's not like right now you maybe have no full direct plan for your future, but between the leadership and the mentorship that's out there is really working together to kind of drive you to meet those needs that you have. When you think about things, nothing happens overnight. And you've lived your whole life going to school, you have your hobbies, you have your friends, and all these things currently right now that are all around you, they're building awareness And what comes after that awareness is all that experience that you're going to end up growing with. What I really like to do is kind of sit down a little bit longer, kind of talk a lot more in detail about where you can fit in the Marine Corps and how that can kind of match where you want to be in life. I mean, if you have more time, we can kind of move to the next step and really kind of get you tested and kind of see where your placement is, which is the Armed Services Aptitude Battery Test, also known as the ASVAB. That's really going to take all those skills and hobbies that you have and paint a picture of how those hobbies can start an insight for what your future could be like within the military. Is that something you think you'll have a little bit of time to stick around for?
Yeah. Can I just ask you like one thing though?
Absolutely.
And like if this is like a dumb question, I'm sorry. I just, like it's that thing where you feel like I want more structure, but I don't want to stop having fun. Is it like fun to do?
So when you think about structure and you think about fun, where do you think that structure removes fun? What are your current concerns with that?
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. We're gonna be waking up early all the time if I do it right, and like, that's rough. I'm not a great morning person, but I don't know. I just want to like, is there downtime? Is it always serious? Are people always yelling at you? Like,
And that's a great question to have. And these concerns kind of come up all the time. So when we think about getting up early, that's the kind of like the initiation in the Marine Corps to kind of just get everybody on that level playing field. Because you got to think everybody's come from all over the world and with the
mhm.
desire to become United States Marines, but we got to get everybody on the even playing field. So those 5 a.m. mornings, in the initial training and stuff is really just to get everybody to kind of get together, start to understand how each other kind of move and kind of get everybody on the same page, kind of growing. I always say you got to crawl before you walk, walk before you run. But the
Mhm.
natural day and day life of a Marine is basically like your normal 8 to 4, 8 to 5, where your nights and weekends are yours. Whether you want to go get a second job, whether you want to go to
Oh,
college, you want to go hang out with your friends and go to the beach. There's all these different exciting opportunities that are out there, and you're not limited. Just wearing the uniform just says something higher about you that you want to accomplish more and you want to be able to give back to people, but your day-to-day life does not stop once you become a Marine. If anything, it just grew because you just inherited a family of 180,000 Marines like yourself that you just entered that brother and sisterhood and you just built relationships for a lifetime. So if anything, your fun and excitement just is actually going to grow from these experiences as a Marine that you never had before. What do you think?
wow, that sounds cool. Yeah, I mean, I'd at least be interested in taking the tests and stuff. That sounds great.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, Michael, great job. Thank you so much for jumping into that scenario with both feet. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to reflect in it a little bit while it's still fresh in your mind, okay?
All right.
Perfect. So I'm noticing you smiling a little bit there.
Yeah,
What are you
it's
smiling about?
a little weird at times.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. We can admit that obviously your first time talking to an avatar can be a little uncanny valley, and we understand that. So let me ask you though, in the simulation, what's something you did that you thought went well?
Began the conversation. I mean, in our terminology, try to give it a state the agenda and its value, a good engaged statement to kind of guide where we wanted to go in the conversation
Mhm.
and really kind of started with it. Um, so I think kind of moved in that direction pretty well.
Great, wonderful. Yeah, and putting Adam at ease, letting him know you're there to answer any questions and that you're confident. I noticed you kind of cracked a joke at the beginning about sort of he can call you by your title, which is a great way to build rapport. That's wonderful. And so I'm curious though, let's say you were to do this again, knowing what you know now, is there anything you'd change about your approach? How might you differ what you're doing?
Yeah, I think getting used to the like your interactions can be limited, right? Like I can't stand up,
Mhm.
I can't move and push. Like I was trying to use my hands a little bit, but kind of based off the scenario, trying to get through it. This next step, obviously, as a simulation, obviously we would go more in depth in a conversation. We use benefit tags and other tools and techniques throughout our stuff. I would find a way to kind of position that with that avatar or something.
Absolutely. I think that's a great, and that sounds very actionable if you were to do this again. Obviously, this is a demo experience, so it is a shorter, more truncated experience. If you were to do something full length, there would be a little bit more chance for nuance and digging deeper. There may be some things for you to uncover about Adam that could help feed into the conversation. So I appreciate your feedback with that. Michael, I want to thank you so much for your time, your participation, and for your thoughtful reflection and feedback. I think that was a very helpful situation. I hope it was for you as well. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and send you back to the meeting with Sarah, but have a great day.
Thanks.